Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Now, today, the subject is going to be about the assassination attempt and about how it's in. Here's my co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah. And
I am here. Okay. I did not get the connection, email connected, but I'm here anyway. So that's fine. Let's not talk about the boring stuff right now.
Oh, I understand. I was explaining that the subject for today was how the assassination attempt will affect the election. And this election's been a very interesting one, especially with the past few weeks. Do you agree?
Yes, I can't even believe it. It's almost like a roller coaster ride up and down.
I know.
Just when you think nothing else could crazy happen, then it does. Although I don't think that it is that crazy that Biden dropped out, because everybody was anticipating that he was, and then he did it, and then now everybody's acting so shocked. In their interviews, they always say, well, after I was done, I was in shock after I soaked it all in. I was able to think straight about what's going on. What do you mean you were in shock? Of course it was going to happen. Of course it was going to bow out.
I think this is why I think people were shocked. It's because there were mixed messages being given. Like, there were people that were saying, listen, he shouldn't go on. And then there were people that were saying, he's fine. You know, like last week, Biden was saying, I'm looking forward to continuing the campaign this week. And you know that he gave his team 1 minute notice that he was going to drop out?
Well, why does that matter when they obviously had Plan B going on in their head for quite some time? Well, you think they just told him, drop out, and then he did, and they're like, oh, now what do we do? So, and what's your point about it? That he gave them 1 minute. What is he supposed to say? I'm going to give you 15 minutes. I'm going to give you 1 hour before I give you my answer, or before I talk to you again. I'm going to give you 30 minutes
is
to
that
think
there
about
were certain
me
people
calling you.
that were giving different answers. There were certain people that were giving different answers to the question of whether or not he was going to stay in, and I think the assassination attempt. I think it does. As far as the assassination attempt, this is what I think. For a long time, there were so many things being said about Trump, and it's like now it's really hard to say those things now. Does that make sense?
Yes, for some people, most people, but they're back at it again. They're calling him a dictator, and they're calling him dangerous. So, yeah, it's frivolous calling him other things like pointing fingers. Oh, you did this, you did that. Like, you slept with a porn star. I just really don't think people, they either don't care or they think, well, didn't we already watch all of that go down? And, I've done maybe worse, in their own mind. So that is out the door. So what do they have to go on anymore? Dangerous how? Dangerous. I mean, he was in there for 4 years before. What's the banging? I hear a banging going on. He was in office for 4 years before, and I didn't feel like he was dictating. Did you?
No, I really didn't. I mean, I thought that he was unconventional, but I don't think that he was a dictator. I don't think he was somebody that was wanting to I mean, I thought that the stock market was pretty good. The unemployment was good. I think the COVID was kind of a raw deal because it was sort of like, it was one of those things where.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just saying that most presidents do deal with some kind of weird thing in their 4-year term. There's always something odd or weird that they have to deal with, so they have to be ready for it. And that did throw a curveball, but you are right. I just think that they don't have anything to say too mean to him that doesn't sound frivolous. Or what I would like to know is, okay, if you've done this, what are you going to do now? Okay, the border looks like that. How is it now? What are you planning on doing? Instead of, like, what do you feel like you're not getting from the debate, from the White House, as in answers? Do you feel like you're getting all your personal answers in life that you have for the government answered?
I would say no, because, for a long time they hid the fact that he was in mental decline. They didn't tell anybody. And I think that, the fact is that Kamala knew that he was in mental decline. And, it is something to the effect of you got to deal with him being in mental decline. And, by the way, that him being in mental decline has nothing to do with Trump. That's the thing. People try to bring up Trump whenever you talk to them about that.
Exactly.
But Trump has
they refer to it like,
to do with it.
Well, he's only 3 years younger. It's not about that. It's about you can be as sharp as a tack at 95, and sometimes you aren't. Sometimes you don't.
I think what it is
sharp.
Is that, and this is what I'm going to say is the difference between Biden and Trump, okay, is that with Biden, you would ask if he was senile, and then he would get upset. He would get mad, Whereas when you ask Trump this question, Trump would be like, okay, I'll prove to you I'm mentally, okay, I'll take this test. I also do this. Like one thing that I've heard about Trump is that he doesn't drink. And he doesn't smoke.
Well, I know him personally. I mean, I had a relationship with the guy. So, and it really bothers me when there are people that say that he does drugs, people that swear that they met him at the Playboy Mansion. The guy does not do drugs. He's never even tried them. He doesn't drink, and he's never even tried drinking. So, no, you are right about that. You can just say, he doesn't. You don't have to say, I heard. You could just say, I know he doesn't.
Oh, well,
drink.
You're right. Wrong choice of words. But I guess what I'm trying to say is about that, Barbara, is that to say you don't drink is the same thing as saying you're competent. I mean, I think if you're president of the United States, you have to answer the competency question whenever asked without being offended.
Yes.
And actually,
but can you
it's funny
add that?
because I've
Constitution? No.
And I've actually,
can you add that? I would like you to tell me, since this is something that you really are thinking about. Is there a list of things that the president has to be competent? Is there a test that he has to take? I don't think so.
Obviously, I think that it's important to go see a physician, and obviously to get a competency test from a physician. Biden kept saying, I don't have to. He said, I take the competency test every day. I mean, give me a break.
Oh,
you
yeah, no.
Right.
And I guess you
now,
failed according to the people.
And actually, it's funny because I've heard people say that Kamala talks like she's on drugs. I mean,
nutty.
Yeah,
nutty, and I
think
always thought, so annoying. She's the most annoying person they could ever have chosen, and I think they did choose her on her the color of her skin. I think they did.
They did.
Choose her
Biden
because she's a female.
out,
I did, and now they got what they wanted. But
explained.
let's see how it's going to go down, Johnny. Okay? Because I want to know from you. Do you think? I mean, they've got buzz. They seem so confident now. They raised a lot of money in 24 hours. But do you think that she can go up against Donald Trump and be okay?
No.
That's
no,
what
I
people
don't.
want to hear about. They don't want to hear about me, my views, and, well, my abortion views and stuff right now, or your
right.
unemployment
But no, I don't think she
ideas.
can go up against him. I think that, she was picked to be the vice president because of the fact that she was African American. Biden himself said this.
When did he say that?
He said this back when he picked her. He said that he was going to pick a female and that she would be African American. He actually said this. And the thing is that that is not qualified. That's affirmative action. And the thing is that I think that, in my opinion, every time I've seen Kamala in a debate, she's been destroyed. She cannot handle being in the debate. I've heard some people say, "Whoa,"
against Biden, and everybody can destroy Biden, which she kind of did in a few moments before she had to opt out of the race. I didn't follow it that much, but okay, go ahead, Johnny, go ahead.
But it has to do with the fact that when she ran in 2020, she didn't get any delegates, and she, people make fun of how she talks. Yeah, something like that.
Hold on, zero.
And
she didn't get any delegates at all when she ran in 2020.
Yeah, in 2000, something like that. In 2020, she didn't get any, and not only that, it was Tulsi Gabbard basically beat the living daylights out of her in a debate. And people make fun of how she sounds, but you can look at a quote. I mean, this is the stuff she says. Today is Sunday. Sunday is the day before Monday. Monday is the day of the
filler. It's just a bunch of filler, and they do it real slow.
Right.
I've noticed speakers who don't have a very good or long much content inside their speech, they do that. They fill and they do really loud.
Now, as far, I just want to say something else. It's not when somebody is 81 years old. Okay, the question that you want to know is, are they mentally there? Now, it doesn't mean that an 80-year-old can't be mentally there, but it does mean that you have to ask the question based on statistics. Okay,
do you know the statistics on it? Do you know? Because my dad's 80.
I don't know.
I'm going by my dad, who I can completely have the same conversation with him today as I could 20 years ago. So my dad is fine. I know that. There is. You can't put an age on there. But to change rules, what I was trying to ask you earlier is, can you change the rules, or do we go by the Constitution exactly?
Well, I would say you would have to amend the Constitution, but I will tell you this. To run for president, you have to be 35 years old, at least. Okay. Now, if you really want to be technical, 18 is an adult. I mean, if you're 18 years old, you may not be the most mature person in the world, but you are an adult.
Yeah, you can vote, but you can't drink, and you can't be president.
I know. I know. There's a lot of other things involved, but the point I'm trying to get at is an 18-year-old is an adult. They can,
Got it.
But an 18-year-old cannot run for president. So you might make the argument, So what I'm trying to say is that if you have to be 35 to run for president, then why not have an age where it's just too much? You're too old. And I think there does need to be an age.
Because, I'll tell you why, because there might be a person halfway there in a term of 2 years who's going to be maybe turning 81, or, I mean, what's the difference between 80 and 82 and 83? You might be the same exact person. What if you get in there at 79 and you're going to be in there till you're 84? You know what? No. I think they should do a test, and it should be public, a cognitive test. And there's many different kinds. There's many of them. I've been researching them. And it's just something you have to take time to do. It doesn't hurt. They just need to go in there and do it. Donald Trump did. I would like that to be. And also, public. Also, is his health really public? I was thinking he probably doesn't even have COVID.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, when you get to be that age, you start thinking, wait a minute, are they telling us everything? Does he have, wait a minute, are they telling us everything that's going?
Hold on, Johnny. Hold on then, okay? Back to my point. If Donald Trump wins, he is 79 when he is
right
81, 82, 83 at the end of his term. Are you going to be like, wait a minute?
Well,
because of a number?
I'm going to be, as long as he's willing to answer the cognitive question without being upset and takes it seriously and can prove he's cognitive, then I don't have a problem with it. I'm not saying that 80, 81 means you're not all there. There's lots of people that we've met that are 81. Like I had a great aunt, that was like 105. And what happened was she got my sister on the phone. And my sister was expecting to talk to this old, tired lady. And then, hello, how are you? It depends on your age. It's just that.
That's
but at
why
the
I'm
same
saying
time,
go with the test. Although,
right.
if would like to if you and I were in power, I could say this. Make sure they have to have a test, and also they can run to know. They can run at 81, and then they cannot run at 82 on, because that would be too old when they were finished. That would be 86 when they finished, and I think that might be too old. So when they're 81...
Yeah, Biden would have been 86.
85.
At the end of his term.
Yeah, they could be 85. And, okay, so how old is Biden right now? 83,
He's
right?
81.
81?
He's 81.
Okay. Well, he would still be able to run with my rule. So, see, the rule doesn't work. I think only the test works.
Yeah, as long as they're not upset about taking the test, as long as they are, transparent
Okay. Hold on, I have a new one. Okay. As long as you can pass the cognitive test, you can run at 81 to be finished by 85, and then no more after that, because then you're going to be close to 90. So you can only run if you would be my rule. Okay?
Now, I will tell you, this is another aspect to this, like he was saying things like, okay, well, my hours are between 9 to 4. Well, the presidency doesn't work like that.
They had a day with that, didn't they? Oh wow, they were like, oh my gosh, why don't you tell
the phone could ring at 2 a.m. and at 2 a.m. you got to answer the phone. You cannot just say, oh, it doesn't work like that.
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I was so shocked, really, when he said that.
In...
As long as I'm done by, I don't think he said 4. I thought he said 8 p.m.
No, he said after 4:30, and
Oh, no.
presidents don't. That's not a 9 to 4:30 job. I mean, this is something that you got to be woken up sometimes. Like if there's a crisis in Israel or something,
I got
you got to be woken up at 2 a.m. for him. And I think, and it is true. I think that would be a hard thing for somebody to. Not only that, there's a lot of traveling that you have to do when you're president. It's actually kind of funny because I remember reading somewhere that Ronald Reagan was afraid of flying, which is a really strange job to take if you're afraid of flying.
Interesting. That brings us back to our topic, assassination attempt. I remember when they tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan, and he was a favorite president of many, and wow, they didn't get him either, but then they did paralyze one of the service guys.
This is what I remember. Nancy Reagan consulted astrologers to plan his schedule, and the reason she did that was because of the assassination attempt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was why she consulted astrologers. It's just that.
Okay.
I mean,
do you remember our topic, assassination attempt topic? I want to really end with that subject matter, please. So I want to ask you something, though, about Ronald Reagan. When that assassination attempt happened, do you know where he was at as far as his term, or was he in the middle? Was he in the beginning?
I think he was brand new.
Do you remember?
I think he was brand new. It happened early in his term, 1981.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just become president.
All right. Okay, because our topic was, I didn't recheck your title that you came up with at the end, but was, how did the assassination attempt, how is it going to affect, or how do you and I think it's going to affect the election, which we went over a little bit, but okay, I would like to say my piece on it, please. How I was viewing it was that when I saw Biden's debate, I just thought, oh no, there's no way that he is going to be able to continue. But then I thought, oh wow, if he does appoint a new candidate, which he did, Kamala Harris, I thought, oh, that'll be actually entertaining, because I would love to see Donald Trump go up against her. And then soon we will find out, maybe, I haven't watched the news for several hours, maybe she has appointed or really is going to be the running mate. Maybe she would like to pick the vice president, I'm not sure, but now I don't know if they're tricking us or they trick the American people, because that it is a game. I think politics is a game a lot of the time, and that's why I wasn't so shocked that they were all trying to hide that Biden does have probably Alzheimer's. Well, I'm not shocked that they tried to hide it. I don't think anybody's going to be accountable for that.
But I will tell you
anywhere. But
this is what's
hold on, okay? Because you know what, I'm going to be like Biden and forget my train of thought if I get interrupted.
Right.
So I just wanted to say, how do I personally think it's affecting it? I'm getting there, affecting the campaign. Well, now I don't know if they are trying to trick us, but they're acting really excited about Kamala Harris, like she's going to be able to take Trump down. She's going to be able to give it to him since she was a prosecutor. But I've never even witnessed her doing well in her speeches when she's not against anybody. It's just blah, 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 boring to me, and a lot of cackling, laughing. I'm not sure. So now I'm wondering, and now I must tell you, the American people, that I am not sure. I thought she was going to get blown away, but maybe they are making me think, ooh, maybe she can do something. They want us to think that maybe, oh, this is going to be a tough one. You know, just because they want that vote. Well, okay,
Right.
I've said it. I don't know. I'm not sure now. How about you? But can you please specifically answer the question, Johnny? How do you personally feel that this assassination attempt, okay, it couldn't go on last week because of Blog Talk Radio problems, so we're doing it a week later, okay? Many things have happened.
I'm going to tell you, I think that it's going to help Trump out and help him win. That's what I think.
Okay,
I mean,
even after Biden is not in the race anymore, and now it's Kamala. So you still think that is helping him, and you are not worried at all about them debating each other?
No.
If in fact you are wanting Donald Trump to win, I stay neutral here at Life After Happiness politically.
Well, it has to do with the fact that what I've heard about Kamala, there's a lot of things, you know, for a long time that hasn't really been said about Kamala too much because she's the vice president. And to be honest, if she hadn't been vice president, then she never would have been president. So I think that the stuff that they're bringing that's going to come out about her may be kind of hard for her to deal with. Like, you know, like what she did as a prosecutor in California and all this other stuff.
Do you know any juicy details for us?
Well, like I heard somewhere that people in jail for smoking marijuana that laughed when she asked if she smoked marijuana. She would, you know, yeah. Then there was a time where there was a person on death row, and you know, that was innocent, and you know, she had evidence, and they forced her to release it. It was basically in a debate that happened with Tulsi Gabbard. And, you know, it's like she doesn't really have a good answer to that, you know. So that's what I think.
Well, people seem to really love her. I am sorry to you people. I probably will make you mad, but for some reason, this woman, just take her as a woman. I'm just taking her as just a woman. She really annoys me. Since day one, I cannot stand her. So, hey, that doesn't sway my vote, okay? I will have to look at the policies, but quite annoying. Am I wrong?
Right, yeah. I mean,
okay.
She
does not annoy you? Just, okay. I mean, listening to her, just... Oh,
no,
God.
I mean it's just that it's not so much annoying. It's just that I don't agree. I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff that she says, and it's like it's not like people are paraphrasing what he says, you know. So
okay, hold on. I'm going to get off topic too. There is this other guy. He was a Kennedy. He was running for president.
Yeah, Robert Kennedy Jr.
I'm sure. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. But if I had to listen to that guy all the time, oh, my gosh, it grated on my nerves. Maybe I'm sensitive, but I don't know what's wrong with his voice.
What
but
that
it's
has
not
to do with,
fun
I
to
think I
listen
know
to
why.
him.
I know what that is. He has a condition.
What is it?
What?
What is his...
he has I don't know what it's called, but it affects his voice.
Well, I don't like to listen to it, so, and that matters. It matters a lot. Sorry to say, everybody, it matters. People don't like to be annoyed. And once you're annoyed, once you can't stand somebody, it's hard to switch. It sounds superficial, but that's what, if you go with a microphone and you start interviewing people, down here, even in my hometown, I see it happening all the time in the Huntington Beach. These people have no clue about any policies that any of the candidates have. They know nothing. It goes strictly on annoyance level only. So, hey, there is something to it.
Right.
Anyway.
All right.
Well, we wish you all
ready
a
for the
wonderful rest of. Yes, we wish you all a wonderful rest of the week, everybody. Thank you for listening. And wow, it sure is boring out there. Not. There is so much to listen to in the news. And we pray here at Life, Laughter, Happiness. We do pray that everybody is happy, healthy, prosperous, and has joy in their heart. We will see you Friday. If everything goes well with Blog Talk Radio, which it did tonight, they've had some technical difficulties. We were unable to do our show last Friday and last Tuesday, but we're back because Blog Talk Radio has obviously fixed the technical problems. So thank you, and we'll see you on Friday. Make sure you do follow Blog Talk Radio, Life, Laughter, Happiness on Blog Talk Radio to get all of our alerts of when we are doing our show, but really is every Tuesday and Friday. Instagram and Facebook. Life, Laughter, Happiness across the board.
Right.
Thank you, Johnny.